Hello lovers and friends, a warm welcome to Financial Freedom with Honeybee. My name is Malwandla Hanabe. On this channel I am taking you guys through my personal journey to financial freedom, and I hope you're going to join me in this journey by subscribing to this channel, following my journey, and also please like, subscribe, talk to me, comment, and tell me what you'd want to see in this channel, what you like about this channel, things that you don't like about this channel. And let's start this conversation, right? I want us to have a continuous conversation so that I can learn from you guys, but you can also learn from myself, right? So on today's episode, I thought let's just do basically how 2025 went. So the topic is 2025 in a nutshell, right? So if you've seen my previous videos, especially the one that I did end of last year, I had said that this year I'm going to focus on eating my money. I'm not going to be investing. Anything that I've invested will stay invested, but I'm not going to invest. I'm just going to enjoy my money, right? And at the beginning of the year, I started enjoying myself. I planned for my birthday trip, which I went to. I basically have two trips in my birthday month, a local trip and an international trip, which I did. And yeah, I came back. Obviously, when you come back from a trip, you need to recuperate because obviously there was some over expenditures. And yeah, when I came back, I stayed low, and in July I decided, you know what, let me continue, or let me go back to investing, right? So let's start off with the good things that happened in 2025, or let's start with the bad things, right? Let's start with the bad things. So in 2025, financially for me, what I found to be not so good, I know the first one, or the first reason that I'm going to give will sound selfish, especially for people with debts. But one thing that didn't go well for me this year was, the first one is the interest rate. So the interest rate started dropping, right? So you need to understand that, first of all, I don't have any debts. So if the interest rate drops, that means the savings that I have, I'm now getting less interest, right? So if the interest rate drops for people who have debt, it also drops for people who have savings, right? So if your savings, for instance, you're getting 5% and they say they are dropping by 0.5, so now your savings, you're going to get 4.5%. But that is good for people with debts because they're going to pay less interest. But for people with savings, it was not good for us, right? So the interest rate dropped, I think 3 times, if not 4 times this year, right? So I started off in the year in a good interest rate. And yeah, I think the interest income that I was getting, I was very pleased with it. And towards the end of the year, I realized, you know what, we are playing games here, right? We are playing games. The interest rate that I was getting, for me, was, I was not satisfied anymore, right? So yeah, that was the first thing for me. The first one is the interest rate kept on going down, and because of that, I was getting less interest income. So that was a negative for me, right? So yeah, I said it will sound selfish, but yeah, if you do not have debts like me, you're probably pissed the same way I am, right? So that was the first one. The second one was also this, I think, I don't know, it might sound selfish, but I apologize in advance. So the second one was the rand kept on strengthening, right? Or maybe the dollar just started collapsing, right? But let's just say the rand started strengthening. So the rand to the dollar started strengthening. So what that means is, because I have investment in USA, so my investments now, the money that, let's say maybe I started with 5,000 in Jan, let's say it's 5,000 rand in Jan. Now that 5,000 rand basically ignore the growth that I had for this year, right? So that 5,000 now, it's like 4,000. So my USA investments dropped by like 10%, if not more, right? Like only on the rand situation, only on the rand strengthening. We are ignoring the growth, how much it grew, or how much it grew by. But if I had 5,000 rand in Jan, now I'm sitting at 4,000. So the rand strengthening for me was another blow, right, in my investments, right? It was another blow. So obviously my net worth hasn't dropped, but just if I was not doing anything, if there was no other growth inside the portfolio, then that means I would have been worthless right now, right? So that's the second one. And the third one, I've got basically my phone here with the pointers of things that I want to mention here. So the third one was because of the rent strengthening, also the increase at my job was not lucrative, right? So basically the product that we manufacture, we sell using USDs. So obviously if the rent to USD is lesser, so our profit margin was less. So the increase, it affected our increase for the year, the increase for the year, because that was affected, it also affected our increase, right? So the increase was not lucrative, and I'm still grateful that we had it, but it was not lucrative. So what that means is my disposable income is not gonna be much, or it's not gonna increase a lot next year, because I basically use my increases to increase my disposable income. Whatever I get as an increase, I just basically save that or invest that, right? So now the increase was going to basically take care of medical aid, is going to take care of the pension funds and other deductions that I have. So my disposable income will stay the same basically. So in 2026, I'll have it same disposable income as this year. So yeah, those are the three things that I believe for me didn't go well. So the increase that was not lucrative, the rent strengthening, and the interest rate that kept on being cut, right? So for me, in terms of interest income, I didn't make as much as I would have loved to, right? So those are the three bads for this year, right? And the three goods that I had, right? The first one is my investment account has grown by 220%, right? So whatever I started with in the beginning of the year now is 200%. So basically I have 2 times what I've started with, right? Or it has grown by 2 times what I've started with. Not necessarily that I've made 200%, is that now whatever I've invested plus whatever the growth in my portfolio is basically 200% of where I started. So that's a good thing for me. I have invested quite a bit this year, so I'm really happy about it. And what this further entails is, because I was focusing on buying dividend stocks this year, so my dividends income for this year was really good. Obviously it's not where I would want to see myself. I've seen other people are making like serious dividends, and that's where I aspire to be. And I think I'll post a screenshot of one of the dividends screenshot that I took from Twitter or X. I've stole from X, so basically like screen grab it on X. I'll show you guys. Other people are making like good dividends. I saw somebody making like 20,000 on dividends in one stock. So for me, I'm still very far from that. But where I was last year to where I am now, I am basically moving forward. So I'm getting more dividends now. So I'm happy with the progress of that, right? So I'm happy with that front. Then the next one is I did top off my tax-free savings account on the 1st of March, and I have saved for the next tax year. So on the 1st of March, I'm gonna top it off again. So that was a positive. I have topped it off as per my plans for the year to top it off on the 1st of March, and that's what I did. And next year, same thing will happen on the 1st of March, right? Yeah, that's another good. And another good is this year I have mentored 4 people to start their financial freedom journeys. So I have mentored 4 people, which I think I love doing, because the more I teach people about financial freedom, the more I become clever about it, right? The more I find ways or better ways of doing it, because people are now asking me questions, and that prompts me to go and investigate or go and do some research, and I come back with the answers, right? So that also helped me to grow as a person, right? So I mentored 4 people, and I'm happy with their progress. And yeah, we're going to journey together to financial freedom and see how we end up, right? So I've mentored those people, and I'm happy with the progress. So I think the things that went well for me this year was I have maximized my investments. I have topped up my tax-free savings account. I have mentored people into starting their own financial freedom journey. And I think I should basically summarize my lessons for this year, things that I've learned and things that I would like to share with you. I think this year for me was a good year overall. I think it was a good year overall. I did travel. I love traveling. I did travel. I did invest. I did save a bit. I think the saving, I can just tell you guys, I only saved 7,000 rand this year on a savings account, right? I've saved 7,000 rand this year, which was a good thing for me. The investment front, I've done that. And yeah, I think I have learned a lot with regards to investments this year. And another one that I've learned that I think I should share is I have started buying bonds, but obviously I'm still limiting my bonds to not triple the 23,800 rand that you can make on interest income, right? Started buying government bonds, because the government bonds, what they do is, even if you buy them on the stock market, when they vest, you get all your money plus your interest, right? So the issue with that is, if I were to invest like a lot of money in them, they was gonna trigger me having to pay tax for the money that I would have made in the government bonds. So I've got a couple of government bonds that I've made and ensured that I do not make more than 23,800 rand. And maybe I should just also include this as a positive as well. I have made 23,800 rand from interest income this year. And now I'm at a place where I can't generate any interest income in the bank, because if I do, it's still within the same tax year. The tax year is only ending end of Feb, right? So anything that is going to give me interest in the bank is no longer in the bank anymore. I have moved it somewhere so that I do not pay any interest, right? So, or I do not pay any tax, right? So yeah, I think in a nutshell, what went well, makes my interest income, makes my tax-free savings account. My investment has grown by 200%, 220%. I have mentored people. What didn't go well, the rent, guys, like, and it's still strengthening. That's my problem. It's still strengthening. But obviously, when it's strengthening, I must also mention this is an opportunity to buy more, right? It's an opportunity to buy more at the lesser price now. So I'm using this opportunity to basically maximize my investment in the USA stocks, right? So this for me is still an opportunity, even though the money that I would have if the rand didn't strengthen was gonna be a lot. I think, yeah, it was gonna be a lot. So yeah, it's those things. I think, yeah, in conclusion is I am failing forward. And we're definitely going to reach that financial freedom, and we're definitely going to travel the world. And as I said, I'm not going to wait for myself to reach financial freedom to basically travel to places that I want to travel to. I'm going to do that, as obviously I'm going to do it limited. I'm not going to travel every month because I will not be able to save anything, right? So I'm still going to travel, do one international trip per year and a couple of local trips per year, so that I do not wait for myself to reach financial freedom. Maybe by the time I reach financial freedom, I will not have this good health that I believe I have now, right? So I'll still continue traveling, and obviously not a lot. Not a lot means it will be limited. I'll still do my bucket list. I'll still continue with my investment so that I can reach that financial freedom quicker. And another thing that I think I want to mention is, in the following year, or the plans for 2026 for me, is to maximize my stocks, improve or increase my disposable income. So those will be the two things that I'll be focusing on next year. It's basically my KPIs, my financial KPIs for next year is increase disposable income and increase my dividend stocks. Yeah, those are the two things that I'm going to be focusing on next year. And 2027 will basically set up the goals, looking at how we did in the next year. So yeah, I hope you're going to have a healthy, good 2026, and you're going to do a lot of more of things that you love, things that makes you feel alive, and you're going to join me in this journey to financial freedom, and we're going to reach it together and continue doing great in the world. Yeah, so yeah, love you lots. I will see you guys on the next video.